Hi, this is Pamela Spivey with the Spivey Daniel Real Estate Group. Welcome to our video blog. Today's topic is why it is important to purchase an investment property. But before we get started, if you're thinking of buying or selling, feel free to click the link below and we'll make sure that we contact you. Today's guest is Joe Fearless with Fearless Investment, and he has tons of information to share. Today we're here with Joe Fearless with Fearless Investment. And today we're going to discuss why it's important to purchase an investment property. Welcome, Joe.
Hi, thanks a lot for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your background so the viewers can hear about you.
Sure. Let's see. I graduated from Texas Tech University in 2005. Went straight to New York City after that. Was in advertising, climbed the corporate ladder, investing in real estate on the side. Then I actually became the youngest vice president of a New York City advertising agency. At that point, I just wasn't fulfilled anymore, so I decided to do real estate investing full time. So I had 4 single-family homes at the time, but decided to do apartment communities and start my own company. So what I do now is I buy apartment communities with investors, and then we share in the profits. And I also have a daily real estate investing podcast where I've interviewed Barbara Corcoran, Robert Kiyosaki, and many others. It's called The Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever.
Wow, that's great. So you can go ahead and start and just tell us a little about why you feel it's so important to purchase investment property.
Well, I'd say it really depends on the individual. Some people it might not make sense. For others, it does. I'd say generally speaking, investment property is a great way to diversify your portfolio of investments. The reason why it's a good way is because of the tax benefits that you receive whenever you invest in real estate. Paying down the principal on your mortgage payment builds equity in your property, and as well as the ongoing cash flow on a monthly basis that you get, assuming that you buy it right.
Okay, and so someone who just has like one primary home and they're thinking to go to that next step, do you have any suggestions on how that would look from starting from just one primary home?
Yeah, there's again, it depends on your goals, but if I were to pick one approach that I think would be most applicable to the most amount of people, then what I would say is look at living in one side and renting out the other side. You can get the most favorable financing for that as long as it's 4 units or below, so 2, 3, or 4 unit, and you could essentially live rent free or mortgage free because you would be living in one side, say it's a duplex, living in one side, getting rent for the other, which in theory could cover all of your expenses, and you're living rent free or mortgage free while you're building equity and getting cash flow. You might even get some cash flow because you might have a higher rent than what your expenses are.
Okay. And what about someone purchasing their first home? Do you think it's a better idea to go ahead and buy that duplex on their first purchase, opposed to doing that single family on the first transaction?
It depends on the goals of the individual, but generally speaking, yeah, I think anytime you can live rent-free or mortgage-free and use that money to save up and buy a next property, then that would be the best approach. And even if you don't take that approach, then at least think of what happens when you sell, because if you are able to continually keep the properties that you buy, and then when you upgrade, assuming that you upgrade for family or whatever the reasons, if you keep that first property for investment, then you can continually build a portfolio, albeit slowly, but you can build a portfolio that way.
Wow. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we close out?
Uh, I think one of the things I did whenever I was learning how to invest and the importance of investing was I just immersed myself with books and now podcasts as I continually invest and I do apartment communities. So I'd say some books I recommend: Investing for Dummies. That's a really good book. They not only talk about real estate, they talk about different types of investing, LLCs, and stocks and bonds. And then if you're interested in real estate investing, Rich Dad Poor Dad's tried and true, really good book. A lesser known book that I found really helpful is called Equity Happens. And then feel free to listen to my podcast. It's a daily podcast, Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever. And we have all sorts of investors on there who give their best advice for people who are getting started.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Joe. Thank you for taking time out and sharing with our viewers. And once again, thank you for visiting our video blog and have a very nice day.
Thanks a lot, Pamela.